tapping something vigorously. Shut up!
Wake up in the morning looking like Sadissi. Grab my glasses, I'm out the door. I'm gonna chat MTG. Before I leave, bye fam, take a bottle of suds. Responsible drinking tonight, talking cards with the cuz.
All right, Kesha.
Yeah. Tick tock on the clock.
I actually kind of dig that song.
Again, Aussie Nate, thank you for the request. It was
awesome.
pretty great.
That was really good.
You gotta work that one.
Yeah. I really wish, I can't wait till we get video because you were doing your hand gestures and you were working it, buddy.
Heck yeah.
Welcome to CommanderSmiths.
We are the CommanderSmiths.
I am Adam Smith.
And I am Lowery Smith.
And this is episode... Oh, don't worry.
We're fucking cousins.
God, we just
no, we're
did a
not
little
fucking.
bit
Not fucking.
We're fucking cousins again.
Oh, boy.
That's how we do it up here in Minnesota.
No, we don't do it this way at all.
But yeah, welcome to episode number 57.
Heck yeah.
Right? Yeah, 57. All right. It's like, God, we
have it written down right there.
I know. It's right there. We are continuing with our Slaughter on Site cards,
yes.
But today we are doing which ones?
Slaughter on Site non-creatures.
So non-creatures, of course, non-legendary, whatever.
Yep.
We're not doing Planeswalkers is not involved in this.
Not yet. Not yet. We could have, maybe should have.
Maybe had one. I don't know. Planeswalkers are tough because they come in and you're like, kill them because you don't want them to get to the ultimate. I mean, that's kind of the goal of Planeswalkers. We could do an anti one where it's like, these are the ones you just go, whatever, do whatever you want with those Planeswalkers.
Well, it could be like, put your monocle on for these Planeswalkers, like really focus in on one eye. Mr. Peanut the shit out of them.
That's the name of the segment.
Mr. Peanut the shit out of them. Yeah.
And then we also have Lowery has Commander Spotlight for this episode. Which one are we doing?
Kestia. I think that's
Kesha?
Kestia. Yeah, that's perfect. That is perfect.
It's Kesha.
We will now call this Kesha.
This is Kesha. It's a deck that Lowery played with when we did our kind of
practice recording.
Yep. So, and then you also played with it with online.
Over Skype against my buddy Matt.
Which was last week's episode, but we're talking about
so now we're doing it now.
And then I guess this was supposed to be my love letter for Commander, but it's Arena versus Commander, and kind of my gripe with Arena and why I love Commander.
Spoilers! Whoa.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that. So
and then we'll finish the episode off with Smith Specs of the Week.
Woohoo! All right,
we'll calm down there, cowboy.
So yes. Our stuff you guys can follow us on, go to Twitter, and you can follow us there. You don't have to do the CommanderSmiths things, but just, again, updates and everything like that. We will put that on there.
We just did this, so it's like, why do we got to do it again? Yeah. No, we should redo this.
So
you can find news. It was
Smith Specs of the Week, Insta Specs.
Card Sphere stuff that I got in. Not sharing with Adam.
Sharing with me. Wah, wah.
There's a lot of stuff that we're doing.
So follow us on Twitter.
But we're not gonna like blow up your feed either, like some people that are just like post.
This is what I'm feeling. This is what I'm thinking. No, we try to put some stuff up. I mean, I did.
We try and do roughly at least once a day.
Yeah, put something up there.
So we're not gonna blow up your feed. It's an easy ad. And I think we're also entertaining there a little bit.
Sometimes. We have nice GIFs.
Yeah. Is that how they're said?
GIFs?
GIFs.
Why'd
you say GIFs?
I always call it GIFs.
Oh.
Because I like peanut butter.
That's what I was wondering. All right.
And then you guys can follow us on YouTube. Subscribe to us. That is the free way to like our podcast because the more subscribers we have.
Especially if you don't want to like donate to our Patreon.
Yeah.
Just be like, hey, eventually you might probably not get money from YouTube.
Speaking of Patreon, you can go on there and subscribe to our different levels. right now for the month of March, we're doing the proxies that you're getting. That isn't going to be always what each month is. Just right now, temporary. That's what we're doing. So
if you have donated newly in the last week, we will give you a shout out next week because we are recording right
this
after
one.
56.
so we're not forgetting.
Thank you either way. We really appreciate.
Hopefully, we did get somebody in there because it'd be really. It doesn't matter either way.
Should we guess?
Guess who?
Thank you. John.
So I can plug it in later. All my voice will come in like John Smith.
John Jacob Smith.
Anyways, so yeah, go on Patreon. We have I think it's 4 different levels, $1, $5, $10. Oh, actually we have 5 because then 15, we have 15 20. And 20. No. But then each level you get more and more proxies from Proxies of the Week, and the Proxies of the Week will continue, but we'll have different things in the coming months.
As we get more stuff, we'll add them in and start.
As we talked about last week, Lowery's favorite, Dick Sleeves.
Dick Sleeves. It's going to happen. And if not us, somebody else will steal the idea and make a ton of money off of it. Because they're card condoms. Get it? Trademark TM.
And then copyright. The last thing is you can email us if you have song suggestions, like what was done today.
Yeah. From Aussie Nate.
Love getting the song.
I love it. Yeah.
I like it because everybody's writing the lyrics for us, which it makes it harder to sing it necessarily. But I like that we have these lyrics, especially because we get some creative shit that comes in.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people.
Foreshadowing to my next week's song.
Ooh.
All right, so let's jump right into things here. Why don't we get into our Slaughter on Sight?
I don't actually remember how I said it last time. Slaughter on Sight.
Well, you don't need to do it again because I'll just use that same thing and clip it in there. Actually, what I was thinking of doing, which I might have already done.
He touched my leg. Okay, kill him.
Is I'm going to probably maybe add in the Dumb and Dumber thing too. Have your Slaughter on Sight. And then, don't worry, or okay, kill him.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that quote.
So yeah, I text Larry, was like, "This is what we should call it." He's like, "What's that from?" I'm like, sent him a clip of it. Anyways, let's get into
non-creatures.
So another 15. That's our number.
Yeah, top 15. That's what everybody does top lists of, 15.
But you want to know when there's an end. Like if there's just like
is never ending.
How long is this fucking episode?
What are you talking about? Core cards for Commander have no ending or beginning. It's just a circle, and people love that.
Yeah, they do like that. That is one of our most listened to
people
podcasts.
Just want to hear about cards. Awesome cards.
But the thing is, when you put a number on it, then it limits it so that we can do a top 15 again, part 2, so you can reuse it. If you don't use it, you'll lose it. Is that true?
Redux? I don't know. I was trying to be French like you from last episode.
They won't get that. Or my Dutch.
Yeah,
All right, you start off. Actually, no, I'll do the first one because I added this one.
That's the
late.
one you wanted.
All right, so the first one there's no order to this. It's just 15 of them.
Number 1.
Number 1, no order. But Planner Bridge. Planner Bridge, yeah, it seems like it's a lot to freaking cast. It's 6 to come out.
It's very expensive.
But if you let that person untap and get to their next turn, they get to find any permanent in their deck and put it directly into play.
Very scary.
And most likely they're not going to do it. Unless it's a game winner right there, they're going to wait until somebody does something to them and reacts to it and vice versa. Mm-hmm. Don't let this card tap out.
Be able to be used.
Because
now if somebody has 14 mana laying around, like,
you're screwed.
They got it.
There's nothing you can do. Like,
but if they do and you're at 14, then you haven't killed them yet. Just have your Ancient Grudge in hand.
I think actually there's, and I didn't watch it, but I heard it with game nights from the Commander Zone.
Who?
Command Zone.
Never heard of them.
Yeah. You're trying to do the same thing you did to Fast Finance. Where
you can take these guys and go, what asshole?
Yeah, it's such like a backhanded compliment kind of thing.
I did get called out, by the way. When a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Fast Finance, and you were just like, you listen to them, right? I was like, no. And then we tagged them. Yeah, and they're like, thanks for the monotone voice. Like,
thanks for the tagging us on this, because it sounds like you guys don't listen to us.
I'm a dickhead.
No, the only reason I kept that in is because then you actually complimented them and you're like, actually they do a good job, blah, blah, blah.
So does Command Zone. They're fantastic. So
So anyways, Planter Bridge, I believe it's the latest version of their game nights. They had the option, somebody had the option, Jimmy had it, somebody had the option to kill it. They killed something else instead. Came to Jimmy's turn. He basically won the game off of Planter Bridge. If you let Planter Bridge tap to do its ability, a lot of times they're probably going to win because they can play any freaking card that's a permanent from their deck. So it's like having a 70 card hand and being able to play anything. You know?
For 8.
Yeah.
So it's not very efficient if you go and get like a Noble Hierarch or something.
I'm getting a land.
Yeah. I mean, Gaia's Cradle.
Touche.
Boom.
Gaia's
But
Cradle.
yeah, you just go search up Paradox Engine, play a spell, untap everything.
Yeah, that's the
and
key
then
there.
do your deal.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
Yeah, I've done that before. All right, so our next one on the list.
We were supposed to pull up, but I'm going to bullshit. It's Akroma's Memorial.
We were supposed to pull this off?
Yeah, because I don't know it exactly. So
we were supposed to pull up. Yeah.
It gives like haste,
Let's see if you get it
first
all.
strike, vigilance, protection from red, protection from black, and it just wins you the game.
Isn't there like a indestructible or something in there?
No. But I mean, it basically does. Like first strike is basically you can't get through because they can, block with a bunch of creatures and kill your big guy, and you don't kill any of their creatures. The card just wins games. You don't let them attack with it.
All right, what? Flying, first strike, vigilance, trample, haste.
I missed like half those, like flying,
trample, black,
and
and red.
I got that part.
Yeah, you got that.
So it makes all of your creatures Akromas, and there's just so many keywords on it that people are always like, oh, they have what? Oh, that? Oh, that
Wait,
too.
what else? Oh, I'm going to kill you. No,
Yeah,
that has protection.
yeah.
All right, can I just die?
Can I ping you with Niv Mizzet? No. It just does so much that when this comes down, you just got to kill it, or else the game is going to swing way too far in their
Yeah, I've seen
direction.
you recently play this card,
Yeah,
and
it's
it's
in
just
my
like, I
Gemetta
need to
deck.
get rid of it, but there's nothing I can do. Kill him.
It's slaughter.
Slaughter it.
We're trying to start a thing, and you're just screwing it up.
Well, it's still kill him. Kill him. All right. Next one is Beastmaster Ascension. That is the 1 green, 2 colors enchantment. And whenever you attack with 5 creatures, it gets a counter for each creature that attacks. Once it has 5 counters on it.
I think it's 7.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're
7
right.
or
Yeah,
more.
it gets 5 plus 5. That's where the 5 comes in.
And so essentially, this is almost played like a
And
spell
trample.
where somebody has 7 creatures in play. They play this, attack with 7 creatures, and they all get +5/+5, no matter what.
And trample.
I don't think trample.
Damn it! I'm adding stuff
You're
to
pretty
it.
bad at this.
This is going off the memory thing.
It's not a
not
Chroma's
working.
Memorial. I mean, but this card is, it just, it puts 35 power on board if you're attacking with 7/01s like that were created from Avenger of Zendikar. Like, it just makes the card, it makes a late game play. It's decent early gameplay too.
Yeah,
Like,
because even they're attacking with 1 or 2 creatures, it's gaining the counters, and then eventually.
but it should scare the crap out
Yeah.
of you, even if they have it down. Like, if they only have like 2 or 3 creatures out, because really they're going to be getting it in 2 turns.
But most likely, the person, if they're playing tokens or whatever, you hold on to this card until you have the 7 to get through.
Exactly,
7
yeah.
creatures to get that thing pumped up.
And then it just
immediately.
stays +5/+5. Oh, jeez. It's really... Oh, jeez.
Oh, jeez. You did a hand motion there.
my
Oh,
goodness.
jeez.
Yeah, no, this card is ridiculous.
All right. Next one is from the Commander set from 2 years ago.
Kindred Discovery.
Which I haven't seen this one played as much. We've played it, but I haven't seen it actually in action as much.
Sure. It's an enchantment, blue enchantment, that it's for a creature type. So let's say you say Merfolk. And if you cast a Merfolk, you get to draw a card off of that.
Which is sweet, but it also has...
If you attack with your Merfolk, you also get to draw a card for each of those Merfolk.
So it has a 2-draw
ability.
It's insane.
It draws a ton of cards.
Do Commander players like Tribal? Yeah.
Yeah, they do that. Yeah. This should be in any blue tribal deck, or even if you're heavy in a type. So like your Niv Mizzet deck is in a wizard deck, but it has a bunch of wizards in it. And so you could add that in there and draw a ton of cards.
Even if you're doing, you have 2 or 3 that are in play, by the time it comes into play, you're calling what you have out. And if you're, have elves like 4
it's pretty
elves,
obvious.
I attack with those 4, I draw 4 cards. You don't have to cast them anymore. If that's what you have in play, call what's in play, and you're starting to draw.
It feeds into itself. So like if you're out of a hand, like if you're playing elves, you're going to have a ton of mana. but if you attack with those, fill up your hand, and then cast more elves to draw more cards, and like it just snowballs.
Yeah. Snowball spirals.
It's like a blizzard.
Oh, I don't.
Snickers blizzard.
Gotcha.
My favorite.
I don't like Snickers. Snickers are gross. I love peanut butter, but I hate peanuts.
Can't even look at you.
This is the weirdest thing. I don't like chunky peanut butter because there's peanuts in it. It's like, what the hell are these fucking chunky things in there? It's supposed to be smooth peanut butter. All right, next one is Dictate of Erebos, and also kind of the same lines. You can go with
Martyr's Bond, Butcher of Malakir.
What's the other enchant? Why am I brain farting? Great.
Three black colorless enchantment. Cards like that.
Great. What is it? Grave Pact?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah, Grave Pact.
I knew you'd get that.
Yeah, thanks, Larry. No. Thanks for the test. So any of these that deal with when your creature dies, everybody else sacrifices a creature, because they're going to do something kind of tricky if they have that. If they have this in their deck, unless they're just randomly putting shit in their deck and they're like, well, I want this in there just in case.
But even if it's in there, it's a very powerful card.
Yeah, but most likely what I'm saying is when this is in there, there's sack engine type thing going on. So, and that gets around Indestructible, it gets around Hexproof, gets around Shroud, gets around everything. There's nothing you can do unless you have the card that you had when we played on our last
Sigarda, Host of Herons.
Then you can't really do anything because I played Butcher of Malakir and that didn't work until the end.
It did fuck me.
Torment of Hailfire.
Never seen that go bad until now.
Until right there.
Magic's a great game.
The only card that could really do that. I mean, there probably is more, but
probably just that.
That's the only one that fucked you over.
But Dictate of Erebos and that style of card, like those just like pretty much machine gun the entire table. Like it can control. Like Shadow Game Brothers, I really liked it in that deck where I just like, I'm going to sacrifice this creature, and I'm going to make everybody sacrifice a creature, and then I'm going to destroy that.
Yeah.
Like, you just get a ton of value off of a bunch of that stuff. So,
kill, destroy, slaughter on sight. Kill, destroy, sack, all that.
It's like if you had multiple children and you like, call them by their wrong name.
Exactly. Drake, Zeke.
Sorry, kill.
That's totally what it was. Like, how else can I kill this thing?
Do you know how many children that I have, like, of my siblings I've been called? That's not me. All of them, every time.
Yeah, it's always going through the order.
My mom
especially
does
my
not
dad.
Remember who
my
I
dad
am.
has like major dyslexia, so then that's what he blames it on. He's like, it's my dyslexia. It's like, it has nothing to do with dyslexia. Yeah.
Like, I've called my son my dog's name.
Yeah, I was gonna say that same thing.
Like, Taka. Oh, damn it.
Damn it.
All right, we're gonna go take a nap.
All right, the next one, Lowery, I believe that is you.
All right, so noises. Cathar's Crusade. This card gets out of hand super quick. It's a white enchantment, and whenever you have, or that player has a creature come into play, they put a 1/1 counter on all of their creatures. Now, the problem with this, like, it's annoying as shit.
Yeah.
Because they are taking a ton of time, and I've talked about this, where like make sure that you're very efficient in doing that, but also they're going to grow their army super fast. So this can be abused in a bunch of like token decks, or like if it's Gave Guru of Spores, where you're just like, I'm going to take a token off, give everything +1/+1, and Gave has infinite amount of 1/1 counters on it because it keeps on getting a 1/1 counter put on it. And so you just build up a huge army, and then the next turn somebody Wrath of God, and you're like, well, I just wasted 10 minutes of everybody's time. So just kill it. Don't let them do it.
Yeah, it's the thing is you don't have to cast the creature for it to come for the counters to happen.
It's just ETB.
Yeah, so your tokens, anything that's coming in, it's like, oh, okay, I just played like 3 tokens and now they're all get
like
3+3.
It goes good with every creature.
Yeah.
And if you have a creature that enters and creates more token creatures, like Avenger of Zendikar, like that just gets crazy.
Oh, I have 7 01s that came. Oh, but they're not 01s anymore. They're 7 8s.
Yeah. big whoop.
Yeah, not a big deal. I don't even need to play a land. They're already fucking huge.
So, yeah, the card is really, really powerful and annoying. So, double whammy, get rid of it. Slaughter it on sight.
Slaughter on sight.
Slaughter.
Kill him. All right, next one is True Conviction, which is 3 white, 3 colorless enchantment. Gives your creatures double strike and lifelink. I always forget about this card. You added this one to the list, so it is awesome with the double strike, but then the lifelink with it. So you're
they just get so far ahead on life. Like if that person is starting to fall behind, this puts them ahead.
Yeah.
If they're ahead, it just puts them out of reach almost, and you're able to deal so much damage. And double strike
by itself is amazing, but then
powerful.
Getting double the amount of life back with that, it's pretty freaking crazy.
So this is a card you definitely want to slaughter on site, and I've seen it win games.
Yeah.
So
the next one is a card that we have talked about many times, and we
super surprised it's not banned.
I don't know why it isn't banned. I honestly, and I think we've said it before, is the reason why it's not banned is because people aren't playing with it.
They expect it to be banned.
I haven't put it in as many decks because I'm like, well, it's going to get banned. Then I'm going to go back and take this out. So I don't want to go through the effort.
Paradox Engine. So this card untaps all of your non-land permanents every time you cast a spell. So this card goes crazy good with mana rocks or creatures that tap for mana or everything.
Or everything.
It's, like if you're attacking, you can attack and then cast a spell, untap all your creatures. Mm-hmm. You can just, it chains well. It's almost like a combo piece. It's just so good. You just gotta slaughter it.
I'm curious where it's at $20. It just keeps creeping up because it's just
people are like, oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah, because it was freaking $8. I'm like, we're not buying this because it's gonna get freaking banned. Like,
so, and again, this card is in my Cumena untapping deck, and it's really, really good in there.
Yeah, this was in my Rashmi deck.
Yeah,
that's the only deck I really have it in
there too.
Yeah. All right, the next one is Defense of the Heart. So Defense of the Heart, it's a 1 green 3 colorless enchantment. If any player at the beginning of your upkeep, if any player has 3 or more creatures, or I should say opponent has 3 or more creatures, you may sacrifice it and search your library for 2 creatures and put them directly into play.
Any 2 creatures that will win you the game right there.
Yeah. Pretty much if you have this in there, you have a plan of what you're going to get. You're not going to get, we use Llanowar Elves again, and let's go Ornithopter. Yay!
That would be really bad to go get.
No, you're most likely getting something that's going to win you the game, and so
or put you in a very powerful position,
like Blightsteel.
Yeah, Blightsteel with Kiki-Jiki. That's hard to beat.
Yeah,
or with an Urabrask and something huge.
Yeah,
like it. It's a card that should scare the crap out of you.
Yeah, because you don't know necessarily what's in their deck. I mean, if you played them a bunch, you kind of get an idea.
You know what they're going to go for.
But, most of the time it's like, fuck, they have any option to go get 2 creatures. So a lot of times what ends up happening, we've talked about this in previous casts.
People try and kill off their own creatures. To get
like, all right, if I attack you, you like, kill this one, and I'll kill that one.
Can anybody get rid of this? No. All right, let's kill our creatures.
But so if you play this a little bit later in the game, and there's nothing anybody can do, kill it, or there's too many creatures on the board, then it's a pretty ridiculous freaking card.
And then you can be nice if it's me playing it, so that's fine.
What?
That's the only reason.
Because you're playing?
Yeah.
Because we're playing you with it?
Because I have it.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah. Be nice to me.
Be nice. Yeah. I won't go get something that's crazy. Is that what you're trying to say? Is that the bribe?
No.
This won't hit you right away?
Let me go do something crazy. Crazy's fun.
All right. Next one.
Stupid doubling season. Nobody likes that card. You gotta kill the. Okay,
you have to.
A couple of games ago, when Atraxa deck Zach was playing Atraxa, he went doubling season. Wasn't really doing anything. Kind of muddling around. We're like, okay, we'll leave it. And I killed. I think I got rid of your ensnaring bridge instead of doubling season.
Oh yes,
and then I had Vindicate, and then the next turn he plays the Ajani that he ultimates it, and every point of damage just deals 1 damage to him, and it was just like, well, this fucking game that was stupid. No, you kill doubling season. Doesn't matter what they're doing. Kill it, kill it, kill it. I mean slaughter when I said that.
Yeah. Kill, sacrifice, slaughter.
So you got to slaughter doubling season.
I think that would be
tokens. It'd be
interesting
counters,
to rank these, because this would be towards the top. This would be definitely the top 3, I think, for me.
Yeah. No, this card, you see it, you kill it. Like,
it is kill as soon as possible because they're either it's planeswalker heavy, it's anything. The counter stuff. It's a terrible, terrible card.
Absolutely.
But awesome.
Yeah, but amazing and super fun.
All right, the next one is Sworded Feast and Famine, and what this one does is it's a sword, gives your 2/2
protection from black and green.
So you get through, you get to untap all your lands,
and they have to discard a card.
The discard is whatever, but the untapping the lands is always nice.
It's like green's extra turn.
Yeah.
And that's like, and this is more of a untapping your lands for a second turn. So like Bear Umbra. There's a enchantment from a Kamigawa block that untaps your lands. And this is just...
anything that does that is... which you could almost put on there, the new one, Reclamation... the green.
Wilderness Reclamation?
Yeah, Wilderness Reclamation on there.
So the thing about that is, like, if you're doing Wilderness Reclamation or Seaborn Muse or anything that untaps mana for the next turns, like, that's when you're starting to go into, like, control decks.
I get what you're saying there, yeah.
But having it untap
on your turn,
on your second
being able
phase,
to play other
you're just
things.
Like, okay, well, because oftentimes what I would do is, like, okay, I can deal damage and untap my land, so I can tap out for 5, get through, untap, and play another 5-drop or a couple more spells. So like you're almost playing it for free that first turn, and then every turn after that you're getting a huge advantage. So and I'll talk about Bear Umbra in the spotlight here. Like, it's fantastic there.
Son of a bitch.
So no, the cards...
I remember having to deal with trying to get rid of that. I was like, okay, well, I'll exile your guy instead of fucking dealing with Bear Umbra.
Yes.
All right. One of my least favorite cards, so much so that Larry played with it so much that I had to go buy myself a copy because I hate it so much.
Yeah.
It's yours.
Umezawa's Jit. It's fantastic.
It is.
Fantastically
awful.
Based off of what we're talking about, like, it's... Jit's just so versatile.
Yeah, there's a lot of things it can do.
So what it does is whenever that creature deals combat damage to any creature or player, you get to put counters on Jit. Two counters, and what you can do is whatever you want, you can remove a counter, and you either give your creature +2/+2, or give another creature -1/-1, or you gain 2 life. So no matter what, you're going to gain value out of this. And if you put it on something with Vigilance, you're going to be able to get more counters if people are attacking you. Double Strike will get you more counters. Like, any sort of type of like abuse on this card is crazy value, and just makes your creatures much bigger. So if you're putting it on your commander or like a Traxa, you're gaining more life and being it with like you're killing smaller creatures.
The other part of it is if that creature dies, those counters still stay on Jit.
Yeah, it's on the equipment, not on the creature.
So you're able to, oh, wow, you killed my creature. Okay, well, now I'm going to attach it to this creature and attack you. And now I gain these counters. And it has, so like you said, it has many different things it can do. It is kind of a creature killer in a way, getting around indestructible and all that stuff by the -1.
So I'm going to add one. So this is a top 16 list now. Skull Clamp, which is very similar. That's just, it's going to bury you in combat, or like in
a lot of times that's a combo-ish, but I mean, not
if you have just a bunch of X1s, you're just able to just draw a ton of cards. I would consider that almost similar to like Consecrated Sphinx power level. It's better than Consecrated Sphinx, don't get me wrong, in those type of decks, but we can go with 15, whatever.
15.5. All right, the next one is Mana Reflection, and any cards that kind of do this, so like you have
double mana.
Yeah, so like Mirari's Wake, or is it Wake?
Yeah,
and
Mirari's Wake.
Zendikar Resurgent.
Yep.
So any of these ones that double your mana are definitely ones you gotta get rid of.
As long as it doesn't help everybody else. Yeah, because that can really hurt you.
If it's a worldwide, everybody gets it.
Worldwide. But yeah, if you're doing it just for yourself, man, that or the opponent's doing it for themselves because you're trying to slaughter that stuff, you want to just don't let them untap with that or even get any benefit out of that.
I'd almost say, now I'm like thinking about it, we should have flip-flopped and actually had as our keynote of this one should have been Zendikar Resurgent, because that has the double ability of drawing off of it too. So you're doubling your mana in a way. And then, not in a way, you are. And then also, anytime you cast a creature spell, you're drawing.
Sure. The thing about Mana Reflection, though, is that
you can tap, like,
a creature doubles or an artifact will double as well. And, like, stuff gets kind of
So you got to kind of weigh that out. Like, if you're playing a lot of mono rocks and everything like that, that definitely is the way you want to go. But Zendikar Resurgent, if you're playing a lot of creature
I think
cards,
you also need to balance out. Like, I don't like Zendikar Resurgent because it's at 7.
Mm-hmm.
And at 7, I want like a threat to, whereas that's more of just like an engine. 6, it's questionable. Like Mirari's Wake is just really good. Mirari's Wake probably should have been the poster one for this one.
Yeah.
Because it pumps your team and doubles it a turn early.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in green and white. So, but all these cards
you know,
are really
Zendikar
powerful.
Resurgent keeps going up on EDH Rec. It keeps going in decks because 7 seems like a lot, but they're commander games. They fucking take forever, like 13, 14 turns before a game's over. I think if you want to
tap with any of those, you're doing quite well.
Exactly. That's the key of this: is all these need to die.
Yeah.
Slaughter them.
Slaughter on site.
Slaughter on site. All right. Next one, I believe, is you.
All right. So Growing Rights of Itlamok. This is an enchantment. When it comes into play, look at the top 3 or 4 cards. Put a creature or land put a creature into your hand, and then if you have 4 or more creatures,
I might be mixing them up. Growing.
We kind of replaced this in with Gaia's Cradle because I'm sick and tired of Adam adding that into every list.
It needs to be in every single list.
Like
So, you're right. It's the top 4, so I corrected you wrong. But then it's if you have 3. No, so you have 4 or more creatures transform. So it's 4 and 4.
So if you have 4 more creatures in play, it flips over into Gaia's Cradle pretty much.
Better Gaia's Cradle.
Because you can tap it for a green.
Mm-hmm. So if all creatures are dead, you can still tap it.
You want to kill this, slaughter it before it flips.
Yeah.
Because enchantment removal's more common than land removal, in my opinion. But also it's just harder. And it's quite a good card.
Yeah, it flips that turn, which
you should be playing it when you want to flip, unless you're really desperate and need like a creature.
Need creatures. So early game it can help you get creatures. Being able to look at the top 4 really does help. But
even if it's there, like you don't want that flipping because that puts them ahead. So
yeah,
you get rid of it. Slaughter it. Slaughter.
Gaia's Cradle, man. Don't you want that out?
That'll be on the next.
Foreshadowing.
Yeah.
All right. And our last one on the list, number 15.5, Divine Visitation. The last time we played with my Tesa deck, I got this out and it was killed immediately because anytime a counter comes into play, it turns into a 4/4 angel with flying instead.
And Vigilance.
Sorry. Turns into a 4/4 Sarah Angel.
Sarah Angel. This card just like... In any sort of token deck, like you cast it, and then if you can just make tokens that turn, that just gets out of hand. Like it's really hard to deal with.
Yeah.
And like if you Wrath, the tokens are gone, but Divine Visitation's still around, and that's still something that you should be really afraid of.
Yeah.
So that's...
Kill them. I'm sorry, slaughter them.
Slaughter on
sight.
It's a pretty good list, in my opinion.
We do have a lot of ones that we are going to, what is it? List. Oh, yeah, that's right. What would we call it? It's the, it's already too late.
Yeah, already too late.
Gaia's Cradle will make an appearance there, possibly.
Spoiler.
All right, let's move into our Commander Spotlight. Who are we doing, Lowery?
Yeah.
A Spotlight deck.
Kesha, wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. All right, so Kesha the Cultivator, what does she do?
So she has Bestow for a 3 colorless green, blue, white.
Burp.
And then it gives a creature +4/+4. And if it's in play and you attack with an enchantment creature or a creature with an aura on it, you get to draw a card.
And
multiple sources.
The other part is if it's not attached to a creature, like if the creature dies,
then it's a 4/4, and then same effect of drawing cards.
So What is the idea behind this? I know what the idea behind this because you fucking play this.
I think it's pretty straightforward and obvious, but it's pretty awesome as well. It's get hexproof creatures or indestructible creatures, and then put awesome auras onto it.
Yeah, that's the big thing that I got from playing you. Is it seemed like almost every creature had hexproof, and I was like, God, I want to hit your shit.
Yeah,
I want to slaughter them.
You can't. So that's the big thing. Just make sure that you have creatures around. And like one of the worst things is to have a creature that you want to put an aura on, and then they're like, well, I'm going to kill it before the aura gets on there, and then you just lose card advantage. Mm-hmm. And so and Kesha here might have that, like the point of, oh, you're going to play an aura deck, but we're going to give you a lot of card advantage. Whereas this allows you to keep your creatures around and get those card advantage. Mm-hmm. And so I think that's kind of what I'm working with here. And I think the hexproof, and I mix in some indestructible into there because people are going to run wraths and you want stuff to kind of stick around as well. So first batch, we're just going to go through some of the creatures that are going to carry the auras.
First package, Lowery's first package.
Not the last.
Heavenly Blade Master.
That one's at 3/5, 3/6.
3/6, good
Flying
job.
double strike. And then when it comes into play, you can attach all of your auras to it. And that's about it. It gets huge.
One other part.
I don't remember that part.
Other creatures you control get 1+1 for each aura and equipment attached to him.
That's a good point.
Yeah, that's pretty brutal. Bruna, Light of Alabaster.
5/5 flying, vigilance, and whenever it attacks, you can attach all auras in your hand, graveyard, or in play to it. It's crazy. Well, number one, okay, so auras are inherently like card disadvantage a little bit. Mm-hmm. But if they die, like that's bad. But with Bruna bringing it back, you have a little bit of that recursion happening, and that allows you to just be more aggressive with your auras, not worry so much.
Side part to this is it's all auras, and so you can take other people's that are on the battlefield.
Sure, not a lot out there, but yeah, that'd be pretty cool. I'd be happy with that.
Oh, there's auras out there.
It didn't happen last game.
No, it didn't.
I haven't had it happen yet.
Well, it kind of did because you had an aura on number 2's thing, and you took it from him and put it on that. Another totem armor is what you took. You had 2 octopus, but
yeah, octopus Umbra
got killed. Jeez. Geist of Saint Traft.
Yeah, 2/2 hexproofer that creates a 4/4 flying angel when you attack with it.
He's pretty brutal. So then you got some unblockable stuff, so invisible stalker. Yeah. So you're going to gain.
That's
from the
probably
draw.
My favorite one
because you're hexproof in it, or it has
and
hexproof.
It's unblockable.
Yeah, so you're getting your draw from it.
It's cheap, so it comes out early.
Then you got Sergarda, Host of the Herons.
This card is crazy good.
Isn't that the hexproof to all your other stuff too?
No,
that's the.
So this one is the one that killed me with Hailfire.
Torment of Hailfire.
So, but it's a 5/5 hexproof, and then
spells and abilities
make me sacrifice stuff.
Yep. Then you have what?
Troll Aesthetic.
Yeah. What does Troll Aesthetic do though?
It's just a 3/2 regenerate hexproof.
But it gives. He just has. Can't be. Yep.
Thrun the Last Troll, which is just a better version.
We had Storm Surge Kraken.
Oh, Storm that has
Surge
Lieutenant.
Kraken.
So if Kesha's out, it gets +2/+2, and if it's blocked, you get to draw 2 cards. So it's just like another card advantage thing. But like if you put Kesha on it, it's like a.
I like that we have her as Kesha.
Yeah, I know. That's perfect. Yeah. So it was like it becomes like an 11/11 hexproof. If it's blocked, you draw 2 cards off of it. But if you've attacked with Kesha on it, you already draw another card.
That's pretty stupid. Then you got a cat. Fleece Mane Lion.
Yeah, so this one you can make like monstrous, and then it gets indestructible and hexproof, which is a pretty lethal combo to put any aura on.
Then Thrun the Last Troll.
Yep. And so 4/4 hexproof regenerate.
Conda Lord of something with an E in
There's
it.
There's a Kamigawa one. So it's like so one thing that I added this one in after our games, I found that like when you are like putting a bunch of auras on a certain like couple creatures you want to be attacking with it, and it kind of leaves you open for the crackback. And so having creatures with vigilance is helpful, being able to allow you to. And this one, again, indestructible. It is 7 mana, but
that's going to say it's a pretty high casting cost.
But if it blocks, it turns into what, like an 8/8, or if it is blocked, it turns into 8/8 plus the auras that are on it. So it feels like it could be a little too much, but it being indestructible probably makes it worth it.
Have you got it out yet before?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Then you got Ronus, the Indomitable, which is the god from
Amonkhet, the green one. It's a crazy good card.
Yeah, I remember
It's in Nikia, and it's really good.
And you used that with Thassa when we played Thassa.
Yeah. So Thassa's not going to turn into a creature very much here.
It's more of making everything unblockable, and then the little side note of scrying off of that helps.
Yeah, and I'm not going to talk about like the smaller, cheaper like forms of card advantage, but because Kesha's probably the most important part of it, but that helps.
And then so we got the 3 gods. So you actually have, what is it?
Kefnet,
the Mindful.
So that's a blue Amonkhet god. I don't know how much I like it because it's awkward. One thing that I've noticed is I'm not drawing a ton of cards off of Kesha, but it's like a consistent amount. So
having the 7 in your hand is a little difficult to.
Yeah, and I want to be casting like auras that are bigger in this deck. So cheaper creatures and bigger auras is kind of where I went with it.
The nice thing is it's a 3-drop 5/5
indestructible flyer, and so like
it has the draw ability, you know. So you have the 4 draw, and then you can put a land in your hand to have 7 or more. Blah blah blah.
So it's awkward.
Yeah,
that's all it is. Is like it's awkward. Like I don't want to put an aura on it just in case I'm not getting a card.
Yeah,
you know. So like if I cast an aura on it and go down to 6 cards, then I can't attack or block with that aura. So I need to like.
Have you gotten this out?
Yeah. It's just like awkward to whereas like I hold cards, attack with it, and then I play my cards afterwards. That's pretty much what it ends up being like. But again, it's an awkward card. Probably the nice thing is that it is a 5/5, so it turns Ronus into a creature all the time when it's around. So that has been nice.
Nice. All right, what's your next package look like?
Just the couple of enchantment creatures that are from the Theros block. They're also bestow creatures.
So Hypnotic Siren, which is a 1-drop bestow, or 1-drop 1/1 flying, but you can bestow it for 7.
Steal a creature.
Oh yeah, you control enchanted creature.
So it becomes an aura, but it also, if it attacks, it's cheap. It comes out before Kesha, and you get to draw a card off of these guys just alone without an aura on it because they're enchantment creatures.
So the funny thing is going to be my dyslexia for the week, but Celestial, when I see this word, I always want to say acorn.
Archon?
Yeah, I always want to go acorn. I don't even know why, but when I see the Archon thing, I always want to do that. But anyways, it's a 3 and 2 white, 4/4, has bestow 5 and 2 white, flying first strike. Enchanted creature gets 4/4 flying and first strike.
And one thing that I found with the bestows is that I almost prefer bestowing them because I have the hexproof and indestructible creatures that are hopefully coming down, and so but it allows some flexibility between the spots of, do I want it to be an aura or do I want it to be a creature?
Well, the nice thing is if you're able to bestow it, it almost has 2 abilities with it, because if they eventually kill that creature, then it becomes a creature.
Yep. So if it is bestowed and somebody wraths, then you have a board presence right after the wrath as well.
Then you have, is it Eidolon, the Countless Battles? Is that
Eidolon of the Countless Battles?
Of Countless Battles. And that is, for its regular cost, it's 1 and 2 white. Enters the battlefield. It gets 1/1 for each creature you control, and 1/1 if it's
for each aura.
Yeah. And its bestow is only for 4, so it does the same thing.
So it's a nice cheap pump that also is that enchantment.
To pump you up.
Next package will be the auras.
All right, so we have Gigantiform, and that basically makes the creature an 8/8 and has trample.
Yeah, so it's not giving +8/8, but
becomes
it
an
makes
8/8.
an 8/8 in trample. And this is for 5 mana, pretty cheap, and it can be really aggressive.
And if you kick it, you can go search for it. You shouldn't have a second one in
You
your
shouldn't have
library.
you
So that
Cheating.
Bear Umbra.
Now, this card allows you to tap out and put an aura on, and then after you attack with Bear Umbra...
Well, you want to say lick something?
Lick whatever you want. But this will untap your land, and then it will allow you to like put down some type of protection afterward.
Plus, it has the totem armor, which helps
also
that creature.
protects whatever creature you got going on.
Then we have Armadillo Cloak.
+2/+2 trample and lifelink. You can also put it on other people's creatures to gain life off of that. That's probably one of my like personal favorites. So
Octopussy Armor.
Or
Umbra.
Umbra, yeah. It turns the creature into an 8/8 octopus whenever it attacks, so you can tap down a creature of power 8 or less, and also it is an Umbra. So
On Sarah's Wings. Love this card.
yeah, this card is sweet. It's an aura that will give flying, vigilance, and +1/+1. Is that about it?
2 more.
And lifelink.
1 more.
And
It's legendary.
and nobody cares about that.
But yeah, that's pretty sweet. I mean, the legendary part doesn't really matter, but the 1/1 flying, vigilance, and lifelink. There's your vigilance and
the vigilance is nice. So you're not like if you play a Thrun the Last Troll and toss this on there, you get a 5/5 flying, like regenerate hexproof. Because remember, most of your creatures have hexproof or indestructible. So all of these keywords are pretty awesome. And then you're also adding in that protection on top.
Daybreak Coronet. What does that do?
It's an aura that needs to be on a creature that already has an aura on it. So that's
You have no problem there.
Yeah, not in this deck, but it gives +3/+3 trample, first strike, and vigilance and lifelink.
There you go.
It does. Yeah, it has
you're almost
4
forgetting
things.
those lifelink.
But so the only slight problem with this one is if somebody goes, they can kill 2 of your auras. Like let's say you have the Bear Umbra on one, and then this card on there. If they kill the Bear Umbra, this also goes away. So you got to watch that a little bit. But again, it's
for
so
a
powerful.
2-drop that if you have something enchanted,
generally
it's pretty crazy.
it's going to be really nice if you already have that aura on there. You cast this, put it on there, attack, gain your life, and it has vigilance. It almost already did its work.
Then we have Prodigious Growth, which is pretty crazy.
+7/+7 and trample, baby, for 6 mana.
It's just a big fucking creature that you
Heck
put
yeah.
on any creature, and it's another fucking big creature. Spirit Mantle.
This one is pretty cheap, but it gives +1/+1 and protection from creatures.
Just get through. No one can block. Holy Mantle.
+2/+2 and protection from creatures. And the key thing about that is you can actually put that on your like supportive creatures, and then you can block all day with it as well.
Eldrazi Conscription. Here's your Eldrazi.
Yeah, I'm a jerk for this one. It gives +10/+10 trample and the sacrifice 2.
Annihilator 2.
Annihilator 2, yeah. No, that card's disgusting.
Yeah, and it just got reprinted in UMA or Ultimate Masters,
Yeah.
so the prices are down on that one. That one is a good card to have for any deck if you're playing auras. That is a must-have because it can go in any single one. Oh, I thought this was the same. Our proxy here is the same art, not like the same picture, but it's the same gal from Oracle and Modiah that we had. So that's what I thought you were using. Anyways, so first one is Copy Enchantment.
So this one is just like a ton of utility. It allows you do a little bit of pillow forting in this kind of deck as well. So we'll get to that, but it does a ton in this deck, and I'll tell you as we go along. I'll be like, you want to copy this, you want to copy this.
So if it's Copy Enchantment, it just makes
any
a copy
enchantment.
of a
It can be
creature.
an aura, it can be a creature, it can be anything you want.
I'm kidding. Traverse the Outlands. This one I'm glad to... I like this card a lot,
This
actually.
card is crazy.
Yeah, it's really good.
This is the first time it's been in a deck, and it's been very good for me.
So it's search for up to X basic lands where X is the greatest power among creatures you control. Put those on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. It's for 5.
Yeah, it's 5 mana. In this deck, I don't think I've gotten it for under 5 lands into play.
Nice.
And I think I've cast it probably like 3 times in 7 games. 4, 5, 6. Yeah. It's just like, and then it just puts you ahead. It's crazy.
Hannah ships I can't see it because her hat's in the way.
She has a hat. It's so yeah, this one is just a little bit of enchantment recursion.
Return target artifact or enchantment from your graveyard. Avacyn, Angel of Hope.
This you have to have some protection in here because if you get Wrath, you're in trouble. So
you get STDs.
Yep. Acroma or Heroic Intervention, that kind of stuff.
Eidolon of Blossoms.
This one is just some card draw. Whenever you have an enchantment come into play, you get to draw a card.
Umbra Mystic.
Yeah, this one turns all of your auras into Umbra. Yeah, Totem Armor. And so it's very good at protecting your big creatures.
Yeah, that's so good for auras.
An aura deck, yeah. That's a must-have.
Is it Argrathian? I can't even see what Enchantress.
Oh, Argothian.
Argothian. Oh yeah, it's the Enchantress. So Shroud. Yeah. Whenever you cast an enchantment, draw a card.
Yep. So.
And then I think this is the last one. Yep. Faith Healer. Sacrifice an enchantment, gain life equal to that sacrifice enchantment's total casting cost. So this is a ability that you can do whenever. So somebody's destroying your stuff. Sacrifice
all your enchantments, or if it's just gonna. If you need to live a little bit, like if you're getting all attacked, you're like, it kind of messes with combat a little bit because they're like, okay, I'm going to kill you, put you to 1. And you'd be like, well, I'm going to sacrifice and go. You got me to 3. So
nice. And it's a creature in itself. So that's kind of interesting.
Little 1/1 cheap to come out.
All right. Can I hold your last package?
As long as you want, baby.
Winds of Wrath. I remember this card.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good in this deck.
Destroy all creatures that aren't enchanted. They can't be regenerated.
Most people don't have enchantments.
Douche move.
No, it's good. One-sided Wraths. They are very good.
Sphere of Safety.
People can't attack you unless they pay 1 for each enchantment that you have. That is something that you want to copy enchantment on.
Perfect. Open the Vaults.
This, again, is a little bit of aura recursion, brings all artifacts and enchantments for everybody into play.
Worship.
Worship saves your ass. It's an enchantment, and if you have a creature in play, your life total can't go below 1.
You can't lose.
You got a bunch of hexproof and indestructible creatures. You should almost always have a creature in play.
Greater Auramancy.
This one gives all of your creatures with auras on them Shroud, and all of your enchantments with Shroud.
Yep.
Now it doesn't protect itself, so copy enchantment is something nice on that.
Yeah.
But also the thing that you got to worry about this and Sterling Grove coming up is if you have, like for this one, if you have aura and you want to put another aura on that creature, you cannot do that.
Because it has Shroud.
And if it's like Kesha, which is an enchantment creature, that has Shroud. So you kind of have to have the auras on it before you play Greater Auramancy.
So then, like you said, Sterling Grove, all of their enchantments you control can't be the target of spells or abilities. You can tap 1 and sacrifice it, search your library for an enchantment and reveal it, shuffle your library, and then put it into your hand.
So this is an awesome... I think this
or
is
on top of your library, sorry.
Yeah, this is... Oh, is it top of the library? But this is a better one, in my opinion, to copy enchantment, because then it's that little bit of a tutor. Mm-hmm. It also, they protect each other as well. And so you'll, like, if somebody, you can just sacrifice if you need to go and find, like, your propaganda or stuff like that, or keep it around to protect everything.
So your game winners in this, is this dealing with damage? Are you mostly killing people, or is it, is there any commander damage ever went in the game at all? Because have you been aura stacking her?
No, I haven't done that yet. Generally, I'm trying to have her played as a bestow on kind of curve. Mm-hmm. And that tends to work pretty well because I want her to stay on the battlefield as long as possible. So in my mind, bestow, and then if it dies,
gives you an extra
turns
chance
into
to
a creature.
stay there. Yeah.
Because, you know, if it dies as a bestow and like goes back into your command zone, it's 8 to bestow or 6 to put into play instead of just 4. So like, in my mind, paying the 6 as long as you have other creatures that you can be playing. Sometimes you just kind of get stuck with a ton of auras in your hand, and then playing her is good. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of, it's a little bit situational, but again, like I do only find myself drawing like 2 cards per turn off of it. And that's enough
not bad.
That keeps you in the game. Yeah, it's quite good. But it's not like filling my hand like I had like originally thought it would be. But yeah, it's a bunch of cards that are hard to kill, and you're drawing. I mean, those are the things that you want.
Your winning percentage has been pretty good with it, right?
Yeah. 3, 4, 5 games, and so I've won 1, 2,
That's
3.
not a very good win.
3-ish.
3.
I have been. It's very powerful. Like I haven't been out of any game. Let's like put it that way.
Yeah,
obviously,
that's the key. Is even the games that you lose, if you're in it potentially, to win it.
And that's where you want to be. Yeah, you want to be right around the end of the game. One thing that I was finding is like I was having, if you rely all of your draw on Kesha, you're gonna be in trouble. But if you have a bunch of cheap stuff to kind of get you there, it works out really well. So like I have Ponder, Preordained, Sylvan Library, the Argothian Enchantress.
Well, you have enough life gain in there too, where the Sylvan Library shouldn't
affect you as much. Yeah,
except for that one game.
Where I said I was going to kill me if he got me to 8. I did not, because I'm a liar.
Yeah, that's why you died from Torment of Hailfire.
But this deck has been really fun. I've liked this much more than Estrid, and I wish I would have just started here, because my Estrid deck was like this deck to start out with, and I was like, this doesn't really work. It's like kind of conflicting type thing.
Like,
yeah. But this deck feels a lot better this is in my wheelhouse a lot more.
Yeah, this seems like potentially one of your favorite decks?
I'm liking it so much. It's hard. Nikia is really fun to play right now. Yeah,
that's really good.
It's been really fun to play.
This isn't Nikia Commander Spotlight time, but Nikia, it's like, it doesn't seem as threatening in the beginning, and it's like, once she comes out, you're like, okay, well, he can double his mana. Oh shit. And
that's kind of what we were talking about, that slaughter on site. Like, I can see Nikia getting to that point where people just need to kill it. Who
knows? She might make that list by the time we get there.
If I get a couple more games in.
Yeah. She might make my list. Sweet. Well, yeah, I've seen you play this a couple times, I think. Now.
The 2 games over at number 2s.
Sweet. All right. We're getting kind of longer. We're almost at an hour, so I'll kind of move quick.
You
want
to do your
section.
bitching?
Well, we both can bitch about this.
Sure.
How much Arena have you played?
I didn't play last week.
So you didn't even get any wins in for packs or anything like that. I guess here's my thing with Arena, and the thing is we're the CommanderSmiths. We deal with Commander. Arena is, I guess it's just what you have to deal with when you're playing a game like that. It's more combo, counter, control, end the game in 3 turns as fast as possible. I understand that's a lot of players do that, but that's not a Commander play. I don't know. It's been hard for me to play. I get frustrated with it because it's just like I see the wizard siren dude that sacrificed to counter target
Storm Tamer.
Yeah, it's like I see that and I'm like, okay, I quit. Like I don't even want to play the game.
It's blue tempo standard. Like the deck that is coming. A lot of people are playing those decks because they're good.
Yeah,
and that I think is a really good thing about Commander is like. You just don't you don't sit down at a table or like play for a day and then see multiple tastes of decks.
Yeah.
At the same game, or like
you see one card and you're like, oh, I know what the rest of this deck is.
Yeah.
Most of the time, even if it's multiple tastes, there's some maybe twist to it or something like that. Like they have their own style unless they're just pulling it right from online. But that's the thing with Arena is you see these decks and it's like, okay, I know exactly what's in this deck. I have a turn to do whatever, and if I can't, then it's game over.
Then it's basically a game.
With those, with the blue, the blue deck, it's like as soon as I see it, I already know I lost. Because I can't target their stuff.
That's a very defeatist mentality.
No, it is. It's like I'm not gonna waste 5-10 minutes of my time because I know it's already done, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm done with that one, and I just move on. Because it's inevitable. There's nothing I can do unless I get like the perfect. But even if I do, it's countered. That deck is pretty ridiculous. So it just gets frustrating. The only thing I really do is I try to do my dailies if I can, but I haven't done that lately because we're getting the house ready to sell and all that stuff.
You're busy.
So I don't even make an effort to get that. But the only reason I do that is because the only reason I do those is I want to play the sealed and drafting. Sealed is, to me, the most like Commander that isn't Commander. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then I guess draft would be the next. And then you kind of get into your constructed formats and all that fun stuff. The thing is, I don't walk away from Arena going, man, that was a crazy game. Very rarely. It's probably 1 out of like 30 where it's like, whoa, that was actually a crazy game, where I might tell you and I'm like, hey, this thing happened. But Commander, almost every single game you walk away and I was like, this swing happened and this happened. Like there's so much more interaction.
And yeah, I would really much agree with you. That was weird wording there. But like, and I think when we were talking about this, it was like, I wasn't expecting the feeling of I want to interact with people part. And with Arena, it's just, hello, your turn. You're good. Like just those couple things. And you're just like, that's not satisfying. Mm-hmm. And it's nice to have that game and, with friends or new people or whatever you got going on there. That is it. It was interesting to start realizing like that satisfaction of just interacting with people.
Yeah. The Commander aspect, the tabletop playing against other people and that's the thing about Commander, is having conversations with somebody, or it's the online thing. You're playing the game to win, get done as fast as possible, get your goals, move up on the ladder, all that stuff. I get that. But that's like, I guess as a Commander player, that's not why I like Magic.
Well, and it also like you can see that it stifles a lot of creativity unless you're a really good player, kind of like Saffron Olive, where he's always bringing up decks, but he's a very good player, and you can tell.
And he doesn't care if he loses.
Yeah, he doesn't care, but he's always playing too. Yeah. To where it's like he's willing to, he freaking gets sick of every tiered deck. But I think a couple weeks ago he was like, I played green black mid range and I won 32 matches in a row, and you're like, holy shit. Yeah, that's not lucky. He's good. He's very good. And so that's a good thing too, but and that's probably why streaming is interesting to those types of players, is because they're interacting with their chat, they're still talking.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Whereas when I'm at home, I have the lights off and I'm crying. So
you're trying.
Don't come in here.
What are you doing in there, Larry?
I'm streaming.
You're tapping something vigorously.
Yeah. No, so it's just... It's...
The computer's not even on. Shut up.
It's fine.
It's Lowery time.
It's always Lowery time. It just... So that part just doesn't get... Like, I'd much rather just be like... building my decks, getting ready for the next time we play Commander almost. Like I totally get playing Arena though, and like trying to get those goals. And
I like the playing Magic at any time I can play Magic.
Yeah, that part is nice.
But I would much more prefer, I would play it a ton more if it was like draft, or more so play a sealed thing anytime I could do a sealed thing. Even if I didn't get to keep the cards, I would play that more. If there were goals on that, like if it was like, here's a sealed event, these are the cards you open, whatever place or ranking you get, you win packs off of that. I would do that so much more than building I know everybody likes to build their decks, but the thing is I see a deck and I know exactly what it is, and it's just like, okay, this isn't fun. Like I know it. Burn, if I can gain 6 life, they quit. As soon as they see if they can't kill my the
Wild Growth
Walker and I play something with Explore, they quit immediately. So they're doing the same thing that I do when I see a blue deck.
I can't beat that.
Yeah, and as soon as I see Teferi, I'm like, okay, I quit. Like, yeah. It's just you see these decks and it's so repetitive, and it's just like, okay, now I'm getting really bored. Like if I'm just trying to get the coins so I can actually play something where I see variety.
Whatever you want to be doing.
Yeah.
And I think there's a big difference too in the tiers. Like I think you've played competitively there a lot more and like built a couple decks, to whereas mine, I don't have any like real decks. I just kind of like added cards in as I've gotten the free packs and like into the original decks that we got. My decks are shit. I know they are. But you're not even
focused on that, you know.
For a while I was just getting the gold, playing some games, and it did scratch an itch initially of just like, okay, I'm getting to play some Magic. But at this point, like, I just doesn't really do anything for me right now.
Yeah. I'll say one thing that
like a ebb and flow.
It does help me with a little bit is the mistakes that you can make while playing everybody makes mistakes while they play Commander, and or a Magic game, you're like, oh, misplay this, misplay that. It helps me with the repetition, fine tune that a little bit. But at the moment, the pissing me off part outweighs that part way more. It's like, I'm not having fun doing this right now. I'd rather be.
And for me, it might, like, I think the last time we talked about it, I was just talking about the lands, and that's probably just what did it for me. Is just like, if I want to be consistent enough, I have to play these cards in a 60 card deck and and it's just like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I want to sit down and build, like, a Divine Visitation deck with a bunch of red-white tokens, and that's what I'd want to do. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm like, I know that's not good enough.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's not going to do anything in this. Like, you want to build that, but you're going to stay in bronze tier. But
so it's just kind of like, what's the point of putting a ton of effort into a deck that I know really isn't going to compete, and I'm not doing enough to, like... I'm not into standard enough to like innovate and stuff like that. So it kind of puts someone like me at like a weird place.
I guess the positive with it is it makes me love Commander that much more.
You appreciate Commander a lot.
Just like,
more.
Oh my God, I just want to play Commander. I don't want to play this anymore. Like, seriously, I was super excited when we got to play last week, when we got to play with Adam number 2. But yeah, I guess it would be 3 weeks from when this podcast goes out.
People don't even remember that part.
So I guess that's the part that Arena's doing for me, is it's making me love Commander that much more. And I'm getting my reps in, I guess, if I have time to. But it has hit a point to me where it's so repetitive that I don't even want to do my daily goals and stuff like that. I try to get the 15 wins a week. But even that lately, and that's the other thing, is lately it's been tough because of life.
And life happens, from what I understand. So
kids and getting the house ready to sell, it's been kind of crazy. So anyways,
when you said life, you meant excuses.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that's it for my griping. It was supposed to be a love letter. Instead it turned into a hate letter to Arena. And it's not, don't get me wrong, I think Arena's really good.
Yeah.
But as a Commander player, and the reason why I switched over to Commander was for the reasons that Arena is. Like, if there wasn't Commander, if this didn't exist, and it wasn't so popular, that they were making sets specifically for Commander, I don't know if I'd still be playing Magic, because I get too agitated with the other formats,
Yeah, because it's a game, you want to have fun with it, and if it becomes too tedious or grindy, like, why do it?
Grindy.
Meat grinder.
All right, let's move into our Smith Specs of the week, because they're getting kind of, well, not that long, but we've been doing this for hours now, and so it feels really long.
Let's do this.
Smith Specs of the week, guys. Lowery, you are our first one.
Gonna go with Haunted Cloak.
I wonder why you use this one.
This one is in the Kesha deck. I just didn't talk about it. But it's an equipment for 3, and it gives your creature Vigilance, Trample, and Haste. And it equips for 1.
That's the part that's pretty sweet with it, is the equipping for 1.
And I'm going to say the foils are sitting around. I think I picked mine up for like 75 cents. And I think this is probably the 3rd best haste equipment? ? I mean, I think there's some other ones, like there's I think it's like a Chroma Sword or something that gives like +2/+2 trample, haste, vigilance.
I think isn't it 2+0?
Yeah, 2+0. Did I say 2-2? Yeah, 2+0. So that one is competitive, but like that's 3 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
Torres is 3 and 1 to equip, and that makes it much more appealing to me in decks that don't need all of that.
Yeah.
So like I don't. That's an equipment. It does not fit in the Aura deck, and so I think this Haunted Cloak maybe works better in a Voltron style deck because it's just cheap, and then you can do more stuff. But again, I think casually, this like if your play group's just getting sick of like Lightning Greaves or Swiftfoot Boots, I think this is probably the next best thing.
Yeah, and attaching for one, I mean,
again the one is really important.
Than Swift Boots. Well, Swift has the
hexproof. That is important as well. So like in my deck, I don't have Lightning Greaves because that stops the auras from going on, but I do have Swiftfoot Boots and Haunted Cloak.
Yeah, and
so Shroud sometimes gets in the way, but you still want that hexproof.
Yeah, when you played this in the one of the games that you had it was definitely causing difficulty because you were getting your creatures out and able to do it right away.
Haste, and then the vigilance is super nice. Like it's kind of overperformed than what I thought.
Mm-hmm. And it's cheap for a foil.
And it's cheap, yeah.
Yeah, super awesome. My first one is one that I kind of stumbled upon. Well, it'll be now a couple weeks from here, but Graveborn Muse. I actually got this off a Puka trade, a regular one, a non-foil one.
Mm-hmm. And
so then that kind of caused me, I was looking at it and I'm like, gosh, it's one more mana than your your Phyrexian Arena. And it does the same thing at a minimum. If you have zombies in the deck, you can draw a lot more, lose a little bit more life. The only problem is it is a creature, so it's easier to kill than an enchantment.
Yeah. And it can kill you quicker too. Like drawing one is a lot more consistent, but like if you have like 5 zombies in play.
But I was surprised that this isn't in more decks because you can use it like Phyrexian Arena in a way, and it has a body to it, and it's in only, what did I have? 4,000 EDH decks compared.
Seems pretty underused.
Compared to 46,000. 46,000 EDH decks for Phyrexian Arena.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, Phyrexian Arena. Yeah. And the price difference, so I was able to pick these up for about $850. I think Phyrexian Arena is around, what, 50 or something like that for foils? Yeah. So, I don't know. This I feel is very underused. This does have 2 foil printings, so both of them are sitting about the same. You can get
Legions and 10th edition.
Yep, 10th edition. The other thing is the inventory is very low, so it's kind of funny because I was showing Lowery and I was like, "Yep, this is where I bought," and it spiked. I caused that spike because the inventory is so low. But so some of it jumped up and then came back down, but there really isn't much inventory. So just a couple people buying this is going to make this go up, and there is only the 2 printings, and I'm so surprised it's only in 4,000 EDH decks because I'm going to put this in more decks. If it's not, it doesn't even have to be zombies. It can.
Yeah, again, if you're just going 1-1.
Yeah,
it's not a bad replacement.
So, your next pick.
Next one's going to be Sigarda, Heron's Grace, foil. So this one is a 4/5 flyer, gives you and humans you control hexproof. But the interesting thing for me is you can pay to exile a card from your graveyard and create a 1/1 human. So the reason why that's interesting is this is green-white and you're messing with your graveyard, which there's not a lot that kind of does that in green-white. Now, if you splash black, obviously you're going to be dealing with that. But like with Sigarda here, it's kind of unique because you can create an army late game, like pay 5, and if you have 4 open 2 1/1s next turn, you're able to create 4 1/1s and just empty your graveyard. You're using your graveyard in a certain way that's almost like a type of card advantage in green white. So that was my thought. I think I picked mine up for like $253. Goldfish here has it a little under $4, but you can. This is a card that I've been wanting to use. Almost put it into the Kesha deck as well.
Well, way back before we did podcasting, this was a pick that you had on non-foils before we actually started going for foils.
Yeah, and the non-foils I think are $1 or less. At this
and that's
point
where I picked them up. I have.
It's a legend. It's mythic.
Yeah,
and it does some cool stuff.
The surprising thing is you having hexproof actually surprisingly does a lot. Like you be like, there's situations where it's like, all right, target player sacrifice the creature. Well, you can't target me. Like that. There's a lot of things.
If you have Settle the Wreckage running around because it's in standard right now, and a lot of people would have it, they can't target you.
Yeah.
There is definitely some cards out here that it would help against.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's pretty cheap for a foil, mythic, legendary creature. Yeah. All right, my next one is Oath of Jace. Now this goes in with the War of the Spark that's going to be spoiled here. Oath of Jace is an legendary enchantment. When it comes into play, you can draw 3 cards and then discard 2 cards. Actually, it's not you can. You must do that. But the cool thing about it is at the beginning of your upkeep, you get to scry X, which X is equal to the amount of planeswalkers. So if we have a bunch of small casting cost planeswalkers and a bunch of them, you're going to be
There's going to be a ton of advantage.
Yeah. So the foils, I was seeing them for under $1. So you could pick these up for $1 and expect these to start actually if they do have they have 36 planeswalkers. Once they start actually spoiling these, I guarantee this is going to start going up in price, especially the foil versions of this.
Sure. Yeah, I can totally see that.
So, your next one or last one actually?
Going with Protein Hulk. This card still feels it just. Goldfish is saying it was $4. I bought mine for like $2.50. It was recently printed in Masters 25 along with the guild kits for the Gruul, I believe it was.
Mm-hmm.
So this card you can easily get for like $2.50 on TCG Player, and this card's just like a combo card for Commander or not Commander, but Commander, but Modern. Legal.
Well, it really spiked when they unbanned it in Commander.
Yeah. So this card has a lot of potential for $2.50 in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. And that's what you got yours for, right?
Yeah.
All right, my last one, another Oath of Gideon. So this one, it's the white enchantment. When it comes in, you get 2/1/1s. But each planeswalk you control enters the battlefield with an additional loyalty counter. So if we have all these planeswalkers, they're going to get an additional one that comes in. Plus, you get a little benefit by having 2 little 1/1 core allies come into play.
Yeah.
Foils, again, under $1 for these. So it's not much investment for a potential big turnaround with these.
And again, we might be too late on this since we're pre-recording, but a lot of cards that have planeswalker support should be really good.
Yeah.
Depends on what colors they're in. Like we talked about it earlier. I would avoid red.
Yeah.
Pretty much. It's white and then, in my opinion, either green or blue.
Yeah.
Or
Oath of Nissa, I think, is the best one of the better ones.
Yeah.
But we kind of talked about that one a few weeks ago, and it's already kind of on the rise.
And Oath of Teferi is really good as well.
And that was my pick from last week. So
it could be green, white, blue. Depends on what comes out.
Oh, one other one that was on my list, but Oath of Ajani is a decent one. It makes your planeswalkers cost 1 less, and then you get 1/1 counters on when it comes into play on your other creatures. Yeah. So that's another one you can kind of look at. I think I had the foils at $2 on there. Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. That's a lot of episodes. We're going to just fucking cut this short. Not short. We're just going to be done. So, you can follow us on Twitter.
At CommanderSmiths.
You can subscribe and like our page on YouTube.
At CommanderSmiths. I didn't know if you were going to say something.
And then you can Gmail us.
At CommanderSmiths.
And then Patreon, you can go on there and subscribe to, I don't know, what do you call it? Be our patron.
Yeah, be awesome.
And for the month of March, Proxies.
Forever. Be our patron forever.
Yes, we would like that, but you get Proxies this month, and we'll see what happens for the month of April.
Yeah.
All right.
At CommanderSmiths.
At CommanderSmiths, yes. All right, that'll do it for this week. This is a double episode, so we're very tired. I apologize. We will see you guys next week.
All right. Thanks for listening.
See ya.
Bye.